Good afternoon. I'm Stéphane Froyer. I'm a software engineer at Soleil, and I'm in charge of the data recording, experimental data. Okay. The agenda, which we will speak about the story of Nexus LJ5 at Soleil, current status, and the recording services, that is the acquisition part. And after that, Raphaël will speak about the data analysis software used at Soleil. So the story of Nexus, up to recent past, the synchrotron scientific community, that is a very conservative people, especially the scientific, used to write data in simple ASCII files. So before beginning of operation at Soleil in 2005, we take the decision early to choose a data format that allows storing metadata along with experimental data that can deal with a very large data set, accept any kind of data in dimensional wide range of data type, propose a self-described data sets, and is obviously very efficient. So we are looked at various formats like CBF, NetCDF, Nexus, and we chose this later with LJ5 as an underlying physical format. So today, Nexus LJ5 is a standard at Soleil. We already have produced more than 10 million files, I guess. Almost all beamlines, 25 out of 30 use record data in Nexus file. For 14 beamlines, it's systematically for all data. And for 10, it depends on the context. But we have Europe, they switch to Nexus LJ5. So in terms of number of 10 million, and data volume, it's near 1 petabyte. Soleil uses Tango as its control system for the accelerators and the beamlines. The recording is managed using a set of Tango devices. And devices are pieces of software able to communicate to each other using a software bus and to control physical equipment. Each device that needs to record the experimental data or metadata use a custom CyclePlus library, which names lib Nexus CPP, developed at Soleil. This library was originally built on top of the libnexus provided by the NIAC, but some years ago the NIAC has stopped the development of this library. Therefore, we rewrite your library directly on top of the C++ LJ5 library. The current version is based on the 1.8 series. Can create with a write Nexus file, and especially for experimental data, it proposes a synchronous or asynchronous streaming API. It can also use POSIX slots to manage concurrent access. So I will show you our typical use case of data flow for a continuous scan. So the master client application, which controls the experiment, first start the metadata recorder, which is a lib Nexus CPP, and gather all the metadata and create the final Nexus file onto the storage. Just after that, we start the acquisition devices, and also a process named the data merger, which are writing the data into the storage. So the acquisition devices write the raw data onto a temporary space spool, and each time a new temporary file is available in the spool, the data manager read it and write and merge the data into the final Nexus file. It uses POSIX logs because we have to allow read access for data analysis. Optionally, we can have some online processing, and we use read log. The data processed are reinjected into the pipeline and merged into the final Nexus file. Optionally, we can have online viewing. So, conclusion for the recording services. LGFI is a very fast, efficient, reliable API in data container. We plan to switch to 1.10 series or 12, but we need that all application, client application needs to migrate first. It's on the way. We plan to make use of a compression algorithm, at least for the temporary files. We have to want to use also a virtual dataset, because today we simulate this functionality for a large dataset, but it will be a great improvement. Also with the swimmer, that will allow you to not use POSIX logs, and also aligning your Nexus LGF file to use application definitions. So for the data analysis, I will let the microphone to Raphaël.
So hello everyone, I am Raphaël Girardot from Soleil. I will tell you a little more about data analysis at Soleil and the way we use HDF5 for that. So we use HDF5 as a very efficient API and data container. We chose Nexus because it gives us some standard about the way of organizing the data inside the files. But even though our experience demonstrated it's impossible to fully standardize the way people want to put data in the files. So we have to guess how to manage the different way they want to organize things. So this is why we have the CDMA API, CDMA for Common Data Model Access. I will tell you about this a bit later. So let's start with a bit of history. Everything started with a single application called Action Java that was developed by a scientist on a beamline at Soleil. It integrated Tango control functionalities, but it was really hard to maintain, and it could not be well integrated with the solutions, the software solutions our ICA group proposed. So ICA, our group, decided to develop the new application Foxtrot in 2008. The first very decision was to use data stored in Nexus HDF5 files. So we delivered a first version of this application in September 2009, so it looked like that. So we were in charge of maintaining that. We did some graphical migrations. We had the second version of this software, and we interacted with the beamline to have their feedbacks and so on. We proposed some flexibilities, like the possibilities to define their own ImageJ macros for data analysis, to launch the application not only on the beamline itself, but on a personal computer. And with this, the possibility to download the application outside of Soleil. But we faced some difficulties because the application was based on the very architecture of the HDF5 file, and it was not really practical to use it on other beamlines if someone wants to have the same functionalities. So there was this question, how my application I'm used to work with may work with the Nexus HDF5 files that don't have the same architecture as the one I use. And other question, I want to collaborate with people that store their data in other files, not even HDF5. So, though they store that data somewhere else, I would like my application to work the same way because it's the same kind of data, just stored a different way in a different file. So here came the CDMI API. So it's a project we started in collaboration with Ansto in 2010. So to explain a little bit, this looks like a bit messy, but let me explain. So the idea behind that is, yes, you have an application here that wants to access some URI. So you know, a file can be defined by URI. So is a folder, so is a database address, and so on. So it asks an API, command access API. How can I access it? The application will tell the API. Personally, I used to manipulate some scientific data. For example, I want to know the beamline energy, I want to know the images projected by the detector, and so on and so on. So the API will have registered plugins. The plugin will say, oh, this is an Nexus file, I know it. Now, you ask me for the energy, I have a mapping dictionary here. And the mapping dictionary will say, energy in this file is stored there. So this is a trick. We have an abstraction to say, I want to manipulate this kind of data, and the plugin will have the mapping to say it's here and it will work with different kinds of files and with different kinds of architecture. So after Foxtrot, we had other software. Flamenco is a software that doesn't manipulate images but spectra, but that was our proof of concept of CDMA. That was the first data analysis application that worked with CDMA. And we reused some things we had in Foxtrot, like the possibility to work with imaging macros, with Comet and so on. But there were more and more needs of different kind of data analysis software. So we had to develop our custom framework in order to facilitate the development of these different software. So that framework is called Fusion, and it gave us a way to have graphical components, a data treatment library, and a common way to use CDMA. So this means a common way to interact with HDF5. So what is our state today? Image reducer, which is the core of Foxtrot I told you about a little bit earlier, and spectrum reducer, which is the core of Flamenco, the other application. They are present on all beamlines. They are operational as long as you have available files and the dictionary to map these files. And some beamlines have their custom application, their custom software, because they have specific data treatment plugin, but everything works fine. So for the Java version of CDMA, we recently migrated to HDF5 1.10, and we use Swimmer for parallel data treatment. Our next steps is to move to SGF5 1.10 for the C++ version of CDMA, to put that version of CDMA to the same service level as the Java one, and to implement a Python 3 CMA API, because due to a lack of resources we couldn't do such an API, but it's in our plans. And we also plan to manage datasets splitted into many HDFR files. So here we also face some kind of performance problems, so we want to work on that. And regarding this, we are really looking forward to the upcoming full swimmer implementation in HDFR 5. Now, if you have any questions. No question? So, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.